Hey everyone. So Zena wanted to bring up a topic that I think is really important, and I'll let them kind of take the lead on this. But we're going to be talking today about looking for services, and so I'll let you kind of take that away and kind of set context.
Yeah. So services in terms of finding ways to, or organizations, different services that can help you work with your mental health, neurodiversity, anything that you're kind of struggling with. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional, but hopefully what I'm giving, people is just kind of general stuff, enough to get them started.
For your Lily, I pretend to be one.
So Jess will definitely help out and fill in some stuff for me. But this one definitely comes up on the Discord server a lot too, so I find myself talking a lot about this one. And we've also dealt with this in our family, and as well as for myself trying to find help with things. So people could need services for a range of reasons. I mentioned some stuff relating to mental health. There could be learning disabilities. There could be physical health. So some great places to start is honestly just a Google search or DuckDuckGo search, whatever you use, to get yourself started. Help with this, or, autism organizations in my city and state. That's probably the first place to start. And so just kind of look up through the links, see what you find. The big thing is definitely check through those pages. A lot of organizations, in my experience at least, do not have huge budgets. And so therefore, they're not putting very much money into the website being pretty all the time. Okay? A lot of time their money is going directly to people and giving those services. And so the websites might look a little plain or a little janky. It's fine. My suggestion, though, is still go through them. Email and make phone calls. That's the big one. All right? Email and make the phone calls. Do both. And again, a lot of these places may not have an email that gets checked frequently, especially if you're dealing with a smaller organization. A phone call may be your best bet to get in touch with somebody. And my suggestion is generally check out most of them. Even if you're not sure if you can afford it, it's still worth the time to ask and be like, hey, do you have anything that works with my insurance? Or do you have anything that, is free of charge? The other question, though, that you can ask people as you are making contact with them is, hey, do you know of anything else in the area that could help me? Okay, so now maybe that first connection that you made didn't work out, but now you have access to the larger resource network, right? Maybe they know somebody who's put together a document of places that work with you, right? So that's probably the big one. Mm-hmm. Another way to access services is your state's website. All right, looking for things that are funded by the state. A lot of states have in place organizations that will help people with work. So Michigan's got Michigan Works that helps get people into employment. Michigan Rehabilitation Services is a statewide organization that helps people with disabilities get into full-time or as much work as possible for their case. There are also Center for Independent Livings all across the country. Those also help people as well. And so your state's got a lot of different stuff connected to it and a lot of different stuff listed that are definitely worth looking into. And a lot of these places will also keep lots of lists, of services, people they work with, all sorts of things like that, or people that they contract with, all right, that you could also see about getting so that we can get in touch with other people. What else? You can also go down the social worker route. Mm-hmm. So finding a social worker can be really helpful because a lot of their education is geared around getting people in touch with different services, different things that they need, and connecting them to different stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think especially having another person on your team to help work with you, help track things, right? Help get you there. Okay. Especially when you're struggling a lot, or you're like, I know I need the skills for this, but I don't know how to get there. I think finding a professional to work with you directly is a really great place to start, because then you can start setting those goals. You can have somebody who can help keep track of things while you learn the skills to do that.
Yeah. Hobohime in chat says, in my experience, you're about 3 phone calls away from getting something done. The first 2 are to get you pointed in the right direction. The third one actually gets results. That's generally been my experience when I worked for CMH.
Yeah. CMH is probably the other one. Community mental health. Most communities, states have something of that name. They might all be called something a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing with services is that, you can talk to different groups, different organizations, and try to find out how they all know each other. We have a whole bunch in our state, and I know there's ones elsewhere, but the thing is looking for these and trying to make yourself familiar with them, just so that, like, if you're really struggling with a particular thing, whether it's job training, whether it's mental illness or whatever, there are programs out there. And a lot of times these programs, because people don't find them, don't necessarily get utilized as much as they could. So I think it's really important to check that stuff out.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of free programs too, if you, really want to look at them. You can also get on the email list for a lot of places, and they send, like, the Center for Independent Living, they will send out emails with all of their free events on them. Okay, and different classes that they do and stuff like that. You could check out your local library. Oh, that's the other big one. Libraries will oftentimes be really well connected to different parts because it's usually a very accessible place to people. And so the city or state government will also have, use library, like they'll use library meeting rooms or have like pamphlets at the library. The librarians may also know what different things are in their area. Because libraries serve as a great way to connect communities together. So that's probably the other big one to check out.
And the other thing is like 2 things I would say is, if you have a community college in your area, I would actually go to their counseling center or their student services and see if they, if you're a student or you're somebody who needs help, as long as you're a member of that school, you have the ability to utilize those services, and they often have contacts and people they can connect you with.
Yeah, that's true.
The other thing I would also highly recommend is, what was I just thinking about? It's not CMH. What was I thinking about? I had it a second ago and now it's gone in my head. If it comes back, I'll do it. But yeah, basically like looking for some sort of resources or connections in that format's really, really good. Anything that will work as a service. For example, in Michigan, we have there's the state funded stuff, which is like, say, Medicaid and, Bridge Card, which is the food benefits card. You can do that on mybridges.gov. And whatever your state's one is, I would say if you're struggling, fill it out like once a month. Be honest, be direct, give them very clear information, and just fill it out. The worst case scenario is they just deny you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the thing. If you're struggling for food needs or you're struggling for medical needs, and you have a state that has done expanded them their
programs and all
that stuff is really awesome. Yeah. They even have emergency stuff for like, utilities and stuff. So again, some states are going to be better than others, but it's worth a shot. So
yeah,
I think it basically covers everything.
A little bit about, I guess, prepping for some of these things.
Sure.
So the prep work that I definitely recommend people do is write things down, take notes. Okay. Before you go in, you can have a written list of maybe what your goals are, maybe the things that you're struggling with, right? The things that you want to bring up and talk about. That way, when you get there, you don't forget, you don't really get too nervous. If you just need to hand, the worker a copy of that and be like, hey, you know what, I wrote a bunch down, at the start just to get my thoughts out, you can just show that to them, okay? But during the meeting, take notes, all right? Bring notes with you. Right? Outline your goals. And during these meetings, whatever you're doing, take notes, right? Particularly writing down hey, this is what I'm going to be doing for next time, right? This is when my next appointment is. I think my other big tip to people is whenever you are in meetings, unless your intention is to end services, is always just scheduling your next one right then. Don't wait to do it, because then you have to rely on memory, or hope that you remember, get to it, hope that there's openings. Just schedule it right then. You've got it. If you need to change it, you always can. Okay? But that just keeps us in check really easily.
Yeah.
I think the other big one is don't give up. Keep asking. Keep talking to people. Sometimes you might need to get in touch with your local community for whatever it is you're dealing with, and they might have more resources that way.
Hell, that's the system of how you deal with Social Security benefits. Like if you're trying to get disability, you're just guaranteed usually to get denied the first time through. You're kind of in for a battle. This is the reason why there's an entire like sub market within there of, you know, lawyers coming in, helping you get the money that you're owed, taking a small percentage, usually 5 or 10%, and then, you know, they fuck off, and then you get your Social Security. But this is usually a process because, you know, conservatives have basically gummed up the works on these things, so they're not, you know, they're harder to get at. You can still do it, but it takes a little bit of tenacity.
Yeah. I had a little bit more. I do want to mention insurance. I'm not an expert. I am sharing my experience of what I think works really well and what's worked well for us in our family. So your insurance card on it has a PCP listed, okay? Cool. You have a PCP, all right? If you don't understand your insurance information, get that, especially when you turn 18. Get your insurance cards. Make sure that you understand how to use your insurance, okay? That you're, you know, keeping the cards on you, and that you also know what your benefits are, okay? So you can usually look online for that information. You can get a whole handbook. They'll have a write-out. The other thing is that there is a phone number on the card, most likely, all right? Or whoever your insurance is. And that phone number, I definitely recommend calling it when you are confused, when you have questions, when you're like, is this going to get covered? Talk to a human, okay? Go through the motions. I know phone menus are irritating, but get to a human. Trust me. A lot of times they are trained, you know, to be really patient and nice. They really do want to help. But they know the whole system in and out and can direct you places, all right? So if you're having trouble finding an eye doctor or something, right? You can call them and be like, hey, this is what I need help. All right.
Also, if you're somebody in your early 20s or like you're in your late teens and you don't know how your insurance works, I highly recommend you take your insurance card their parents gave you or get your insurance card.
Yep.
And I would go through and I would actually call or I would look on the website and set up an account so you can look at your benefits and know what they give you. So, for example, if you're trying to find a therapist, you should know who to go through, like what their therapists are, things like that. Bunny was drinking water, by the way, guys. Tiamat noted, by the way, YouTube chat, Maroon Tiger said, I find tons of nonprofits will have events at public libraries. Absolutely.
That's true. Yep. Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, just keep at it. And the thing is that depending on what service you need, you know, maybe we'll talk about more individual ones.
Yeah. But there is a decent amount. Your doctor's office will also be able to refer you and help you find things as well. That's True. The other place. That's honestly where you're going to want to start with a lot of things as well as your doctor's office. So insurance might cover stuff. And if it doesn't, keep asking for help. Let people know your financial situation and just keep asking. Okay.
Also, it doesn't hurt to ask for things like this is a good idea for services. Asking if people do things like pro bono, if you can't afford therapy or some other service and you need it, see if they have a pro bono system. I know at the University of Michigan, for example, one of the reasons why I was able to get services despite having to drive in is that they had a thing there that was basically a large trust fund that if you didn't make enough money, which I didn't back when I was a graduate student, that thing actually...
Fun, trash dog.
Is she in the trash?
What are you doing? Fun! There wasn't anything. What are you doing?
My dog's an idiot. Anyway, they'll usually have programs for people who are low income. Ask around and keep asking. The thing is that like a lot of places have these things, and if they don't bring them up, you basically aren't going to get them. So, anywho, between the dog trash and all that, I think that covers everything. Are you cool ending this?
Did I have anything else? Phone calls. Make the phone calls. God damn it, just make the phone call. Like, that's the biggest thing, is just start calling places. Okay. If you're a parent, please teach your teens and young adults about their insurance. Okay? Please start getting them in on that process. It is a really good life skill. And young adults, if your parents haven't done that with you, please have them help you with that, okay? Or look online. All right. Or call the insurance, right? This is information that everybody should have. So,
All right, get me out of the segment. Love you guys. See you next time.
All
Bye.
right, bye, everyone.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.